Okay, sir. We can proceed now. Can we recap our last session a bit before we
Okay.
going ahead?
Let me try. Okay. The thing is, before we started in the last class, we basically started covering TypeScript. Today we are going to finish it because we are just going to review TypeScript, not go into detail because it is expected. It was a prerequisite for this bootcamp that you know TypeScript. But what we did was basically, we are basically trying to help you basically get started for those who do not have a background in TypeScript to get started on TypeScript. Now, the point is, I was basically programming in two languages. One is JavaScript on the client side and Java on the server side. Both had their advantages. Java on the client side had the advantage of being a universal standard platform, a universal standard language. It could be used anywhere. All the browsers supported it, and with Node.js, you can run it on any machine, even outside the browser. The good thing about Java was that it was a server-side language, but it had another advantage. In Java, because it was a typed language, it was much easier to program because the IDE used to provide a lot of support. Your integrated development environment like Visual Studio help you in basically provided intelligence so that you could basically do development, and it helps you when you are doing development. Now, the problem with Java was that it was not a client-side programming language. It failed on the client side. Therefore, you had to, all your projects, you were basically doing two languages, one on the client, one on the server. And some people were using Python on the server. Now with TypeScript, we have all the advantages. For example, now it is a universal TypeScript, universal programming language, which you can compile to JavaScript to run anywhere. At the same time, it has all the IntelliSense and other Java advantages. But there's still one aspect of it which is left. It still does not have one advantage which other languages have, such as Rust or C and C and C++. That is the performance. Once you go with TypeScript, basically JavaScript is very fast, but still it is much faster than, for example, Python. But it is not as fast as, let's say, Rust or C++. So in those cases, soon we are also going to have more or less solve that problem as well. With assembly script, with WebAssembly, we are going to be able to gain about 70-80% of the Rust performance and C++ performance. So therefore, we will achieve all the things in the near future and have a universal platform. Now let's get, Anish, would you like to add anything, or Shahrukh, would you like to add anything?
Sir, you are absolutely right. Now we have some good understanding regarding why we are using TypeScript. But as you already know that most people, especially the people who are coming from the DevOps background or some other background, they doesn't have a very good grasp in object-oriented programming. For example, you already aware that last time I was having difficulties because I'm very much involved in developing things in the Python. So when I move to the TypeScript, I have to face a certain level of difficulties. So do you think that there is you could have some review of the code and try to provide some understanding of the people who are a bit new, or their object oriented concepts has been I guess rusty. So is this possible for you in a few minutes?
The
I can
good
share
thing
that.
is, yes, the good thing is, Anish, good thing is that as we move forward,
Okay.
we are going to continuously use TypeScript and help you. Because the thing is, for client-side development, there is no other option right now. than JavaScript, at least for the next year or two.
Okay.
So therefore, there is no option. And the good thing is, even for DevOps, AWS basically developed this cloud development kit. The main language, of course, they are supporting other languages as well. The main language which they built their cloud development kit was in TypeScript. So therefore, all the industry is moving towards it. It's just a question of practice and just a question of learning how to use it. So therefore, we are going to start covering a little bit. Let's first revise the code which you wrote last week, and then we will move from there.
Okay, that's great. Sir, I'm sharing the screen. Sir, I hope you could able to get my screen, my Visual Studio code screen.
Yes, I can see yours.
Okay. I request everyone to please mute your mic yourself, because if I'm able to mute everyone, but it also mute Sarzia sometime, so that might be a bit trouble for him. So I'll request everyone, so please mute your mic. You are allowed to unmute your mic and speak up whenever you are needed. But whenever you want to, I would say, you want to, or you complete your discussion, you have to mute your mic once again.
Anish, let's start with the task
Okay.
file.
So this is the task file. For the people who are joining in this class, let me a bit recap that in the last class we tried to use the book, which is TypeScript's book. We have already shared everything on the GitHub, and we followed that book and tried to develop a little small program. And this program we use Visual Studio Code, and you can see in the Visual Studio Code, when we were started our project, we have a two folder. One is a destination folder and one is a source folder. In the source folder, we have a TypeScript 5, and then the destination folder, this is the file that our transpiler TSC TypeScript compiler, or we can say transpiler, actually converted these files. So these are the files are generated by our transpiler, and these are the files we ever created. And the main thing is that we also created a few configuration file. For example, this is the tsconfig file. That file we use to provide information regarding the target of JavaScript generations, and the output directory and the root directory. Root directory is the source directory, and the distribution directory is the source. And this is the module that we will going to use. That's it. So again, I am moving toward the task file and over to Sarzia.
Okay. Now, if you go look closely at the task file, what do you see? There are no the first thing you notice is there are no variables defined.
Yes, very good point to start.
That the thing is, because there are no variable defined, because look at the constructor. Constructor is a special type of method which is called when you are creating an object from a class. So therefore, if you look at the constructor, you are saying public task ID number. What you are basically saying is that please create a variable as well as accessory method for a variable called task ID, which has of type of number. Another is that create a task which is of type string. So therefore, it does it automatically. You don't have to create the variable and the access methods.
Okay, otherwise we have to write, for example, this dot task ID.
Yes, all these things.
Number.
This is already written by, this thing is written by the compiler.
Okay.
Sorry, the transpiler.
What we did, we rather than providing such things by typing manually. We use a shortcut, and we use this special thing, uh, the axis modifier and the type, and this help us to reduce our coding. Now the class level attributes are automatic would automatically created when we will use our transpiler, and in our generated JavaScript files, these um, class variable would be available. Am I right, sir?
Yes, exactly. So now the thing is, second thing is, you notice the print task function, which basically access the variables and basically prints them on the screen. So this is a task. This is a to-do task, a single task. Then we go to the collection thing, task collection, task collection, which is basically we are going to now start improving this class.
Okay. So, sir,
We have to understand as we did in that.
So we can think that this is our model, or the collection would be our model.
Yes.
Which
And
one?
this is a template. Anish, your sound is a bit low. I think you have to get closer to your mic.
Okay, sir. Is this better now?
And yes, it's much better.
Okay, fine. So, sir, the task is our model, or the task collection is our model?
Both of them are the models. They are basically any class is a template for which, unless you create object of that task, it is not going to be functional. Now we are going, what we did was we exported the task. Can you go back to the task, Anish?
Yes, sir.
You said we are exported the class. And now we are going to import it in the item collection, task collection. In the task collection, what we did was had a variable number because we wanted to initialize it with 1, and we call, and in the constructor basically we created an array which is basically tasks, list of tasks, and then we created a method called add to do, and so on. Now still there are no variables, no objects created. What we have to do is go to the index.ts. Index.ts, and now we have imported both the task collection and the task, and we have basically created 2 to-do lists, and we have basically printed them, and we have added 2 tasks to both these lists. So therefore, we have to understand in object-oriented programming, you create a class. From that class, you create an object, and then you call methods on that object. You cannot directly call a method on a class unless you create an object from it.
Okay, this is a great thing. I want to add something from here for our fellows participant here, that this is not related to the task. It's related to the every type of programming or every type of domain we are going to program in our future. So the Sarzia approach, it was very good. If I could remember, as I remember, I hope you could also remember that Sarzia said that there is very less time for us to read everything, every syntax from every programming language. The idea is that we have to know the concepts, and if you are very good in the concepts, we would able to easily design and develop new solutions. For example, think about another domain. We are now creating a to-do list, but for example, you are going to design and develop a product catalog. In the product catalog situation, there would be a product rather than task. So you will definitely create a product.ts rather than the task.ts, and you will have the variables related to the products. Then you will have to create a product collection. Then in the product collection, you have to do add to do add product rather than add to do, and there is not be a task collection, it would be a product collection, and the variable would be same. And then you would be in the task index, you will create product objects to deal with your products, and not only for the product catalog. For example, if you're going to build a student information system, you have to follow same template, same style of programming for the student collection and student objects. Even if you want to make something that's um, you can say a portfolio websites or anything else, you have to follow these a very much similar style of programming. So this is a very great idea that we are not going to be details upon how much or how many type of variable or data type exists. We are directly going towards the hands-on, which is very concept oriented, um, and we are follow a very good pattern, and you can use this pattern for every application or solution you are going to develop. So if you have any suggestion, questions, please ask. Otherwise, we will go to the next section.
Okay, any questions? Any questions, please? Any questions?
Anyone,
okay.
Please, if you have something, you can also speak up. If you have some good mic, so you can also speak up. You can mute yourself. Sorry, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, let's now move to the next topic. What we are going to do is, Anis, the next target is that you are going to share this code on Git, and then we are going to pass this, make Shahrukh a member of that GitHub repository, and then Shahrukh is going to pull the code and start writing code on it, so that we know how to work in a team.
Okay, that's fine, sir. I'm stopping my screen, so I'll share it a screen again with the Git.
Now, everybody understand what we are trying to do. What we are trying to do is, I'm trying to basically convey to you that how developers, 2 or more developers, most of the developers already know this, but we are still going over it. Most of them already know GitHub. Most of them are ex-students, and in oral classes, we teach GitHub. So therefore, Anis, you have to share what your the command line console, so that when you are creating a repository and sharing it, so that everybody can see what you're doing.
Sir, first I'm sharing my screen, and this is our bootcamp website, and from here actually I'm going towards the code. Let me. Yes.
Anish, in the code, it was my code.
Yeah, course,
I was
sir.
talking about sharing your code.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Just I'm mind to also providing some information, so they could follow our code later on. So
Okay.
The guys, actually, these are the code section when we are going to be code there. So as you can say, I'm sharing this link to in the chat window. So you can also get this link. In this link, there is a 2 things. One is the CDK version 2 and is the TypeScript. So in the TypeScript, there are certain level of code. For example, the to do hello world and is that to do. So what you are going to do is to fork this to do, and then you would be able to work. I'll show how I fork this to do to myself. So the idea is this. For example, there is a fork exist. So what you will do you cannot directly upload. For example, if you have done some working, so you cannot upload your changes in this repository because it's a master repository. So in a GitHub, you can also get some internet search for further details. For the GitHub, the master repository is not is not available for everyone to update or add changes. So for this thing, you have to fork. The first, what would you do? You will fork that, and then you will fork in this repository. I have already forked in my own GitHub branch. So you can see now I am not in a Cloud. I am in the Anis Ahmed bootcamp. At that moment,
Sir,
I took
sorry for interruption, but your voice is very low. Can you please?
again. Okay, is this clear now? Hello.
Yes, sir, it's fine now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. So what I did, I was just telling that using the Bootcamp 2020 Cloud, I forked that branch into my own GitHub repository. So here I could I could download it and I could change everything, whatever I want. So what I did, I forked it, and then the second thing is that using this link, I'm going to stop sharing again because I need to share, I guess, my whole desktop. So yeah. So I guess it's everything is sharing from my. So what I did, I'll just copy this thing, and I use git clone to download all thing in my own repository. And after that, I have
The
everything.
assumption, Anish, the assumption is that you first install Git on your machine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, actually, it's a part of our chapter 1 that you have installed Git in your machine. So Git is installed. So using the Git clone, I have downloaded each and everything, and then I start coding at my side. So what I did, I in the code repository, in the code folder, I created there was to do hello world already exist. What I did, I created a to do folder, and I wrote all code as I have already mentioned here. These all codes is a part of my uh, folder, which is to do. And after that, I have done certain thing. I guess it should be, for example, you can see I have checked the status and the commit my code, and then I pushed my code to my branch. Okay, back to the branch. Now this is my branch, and I have pushed my code. So I'm working in a team, so I could not update the master branch myself. This is the master branch I'm opening here. So what should I do, or you could do? For example, you have done some coding and you want that your code should be the part of the Cloud to-do list. You have designed something, the UI or anything else, and you want to uh, uh, add your code into our master repository. For this thing, as a team member, you have to click this contribute. Currently, I have already pulled the request. Otherwise, you have to click this one. It's a pull request. For example, just for the hands-on, I'm just doing and I'm creating another file. For example, I'm creating another file. So what I did, I created just one file. Then I'm checking the status. I can see there is another file, so I have to git add every file. As you can see the file, and I have sort of git commit that the M means I want to add some message. The master means the main or core branch. As you can see, the code has been committed. The code has been committed, but it's not available to the my remote branch. It's still in my laptop. For this, I want to add my code to my own branch. I have to use git push. It's asking and now you can say my code is available here. Still everything at my branch. You can see there should be, yeah, in the code, in the TypeScript and the to do, there the extra file where I'm okay. Is directory to do.
I understand everybody what Anish is doing. What is Anish is showing you that even if you don't own a branch, sorry, don't own a repository, and you want to create help in creating code, help in creating a product by basically creating a pull request and submitting that pull request to the main owner of that repository. If he thinks that it is the right code, he will add it in his own code.
Yeah, sir, absolutely right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that there is a testing.json has been created. What I need to do, I have to click on this contribute, and now I can open a pull request. Now, what I would do, I'll add a pull request, and there is no conflict exists. For example, that's the same file has been updated by someone else. There should be some conflict exists, and I have to discuss with my team member to resolve that conflict before merging. So because the thing is fine here, so I could create a pull request and leave a comment. I will say because I'm supposing that Sir Zia is a repo admin, so I could say now I have created the pull request. Okay. Currently now, as you can see in the Panakanout bootcamp, if I'll see, I'll check, there is a pull request exist. Recently, this is the pull request which exist, and what I'll do, I'll try to merge that. So I'm also admin, so I have reviewed, for example, I have reviewed because there is no conflict, so I could able to merge that. So what I'll do after reviewing, I have two options. Either I'll merge the pull request, or I'll sequence or rebase and merge, and even I reject that thing. So as a repo master or repo controller, I have so many options. So for now, I'm just merging this thing with my master repository. So
Anish, your voices again become slow.
okay, this is some automatic process. Whenever I stop my speaking, it start try to create my voice low. So thanks for reminding me. So as you can see that my code has been merged. So now in the main repository, my code has been merged. So everyone, the member of this repository, for example, Shahrukh could pull these code to his repository, or first fork his code to the repository, and then update certain codes, and then try to request same, or even you can also do the same thing. So we will review, and we will, if we'll find that there is nothing harmful for our master repository, we would update. For example, you fork that code and then delete the to do folder and then update that such things. So definitely we will immediately notice that a key folder has been removed. So we won't merge in our master repository. And as the sir that this is not only the demonstration, I believe that in every software company, in every enterprises, this is the way that we use GitHub, because without reviewing our code, our branch controller or master branch admins won't allow to merge that code, because it could be harmful for our enterprise solution. That is my from my side. I'll request Sir Zia to please recap for such thing, because uh,
Now
doing
we
and speaking
now we
together.
are going to move towards Shahrukh. Shahrukh, why don't Anish? Why don't you basically make your repository accessible to Shahrukh?
Okay. Sir, this is the my repository. Okay. So Shahrukh Khan, sorry, Shahrukh, I always
Yeah.
make you Shahrukh Khan.
No, that's not.
Okay. So Shahrukh, I'm sharing this link not only for you to the but to the other people. First, I'm stop sharing because I'm sharing all my screen, so it was consuming a lot of bandwidth type of things. I hope the screen is visible to everyone again. Uh, so what I need to, I'm sharing my repository link to everyone. Everyone could try, if not only Shahrukh, but we will accept only Shahrukh merge request in our fork for during this session. Later you can also try. So Shahrukh, this is my branch. In this branch,
Yeah.
could you fork that and update certain codes, and then push back that code, and then create a merge request? Sir,
Okay, I will do it.
is this what we are going to follow?
Shahrukh, please share your screen now. Anish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the backend. So I have already forked up the screen. So there is a link.
Sir, yeah, some people, especially on Windows and Mac, may have a software installed as a GitHub client. So, do you think that that client the student could use for this steps?
If you say I can show on the GitHub desktop also. So we have both side of angle.
Okay. So, just for other students, you can also use GitHub desktop.
Yeah.
Uh,
So basically to make that also to familiar to the student to that thing. So as we can see, there's a code, there's the option of open desktop. So once we click it, it's I already has cloned that thing. So as soon as you get the link, you just have to place the clone. So your code will get merged to your desktop. And here is, as you can see, I have created, this is a bootcamp 2020. So all the files which was on the GitHub was synced to my local system. And as we can see, we go inside, there we can in JavaScript all the files which Anisba has created on my local machine. So if I do any changes in the, now let's open the file. And so if I just So if I make any changes in the project, you can see. Let's make I make
I'll suggest you, Shahrukh, can you
yeah
add the step 2 and 3 together, because actually I'll push the code of the last repository, but did not update the map in the to do collection, page 13 of the book. So if you could add the map from page 13 of the book and 14 and 15 get to do item function. So if you could add both things,
yeah.
uh,
So
so
you are so
then you
this
can
here's a
push, and I'll pull that back and add code from page 16 and 17.
okay. So here's a on we can see that the topic goes for mapping. So we this is a black highlighted line. I'm copying this line to the to-do collection. So in the here's a to-do collection in the book we seek and to-do collection. So we are our file name is task collection. So I'm placing this to the place and just merge it.
Sir, Zia, why we need a map here rather than using array? Do you think that there is an advantage in TypeScript related to the map rather than array? Sir Zia, while Shahrukh
Yes.
trying to add a map in his code, so could you brief a bit regarding
The thing is,
why we?
now we have been using arrays up to now
Yeah.
to store the items. Now what we want to do is basically create a hash table where there is a key by which we can search and there's the item. So therefore, what we do is, what it helps us to do is that we learn how to use maps in TypeScript. So therefore, what we are going to do is create a map as a variable in to-do collection, and then basically instead of adding it to the array, we are going to basically set the item in the map and also delete the item in the map and search for the item in the map.
Yeah, this is great. So it means that the map having, because it has a hash index, it is more easier than using the array object. Students, I have already also share in the chat. Could you please open the chat and check that how could you use certain things? For example, there is a page 13, so you can open the page 13 after this class or during this session and change the array with the map. Okay, and after that, what we will do, we will also do get item to do function in page 15 and 16.
I have made the changes. Saved it.
Okay, you replaced map array with the map. Okay.
Yeah, I've replaced
Can you enlarge this font size so we can check it more easily?
Just a second.
Control Shift plus something type of.
Font increase. Yeah. It's fine now.
I hope that everyone is able to view these code very easily. If somebody or someone has any issue, please let us know.
Okay, so I have placed the effective code to the. Now
Okay.
as we can see in my.
There's a new map rather than the array. There is a new map function.
So now
again,
we can see there's a change. We can see find the changes in our just whatever the branches I have, the file which I have changed, I think the changes are reflected to this part, so we can easily see the changes I have created.
Again, the challenge is the font size is very much reduced. So could you please
Let me
add,
try.
enlarge the size a bit?
Let's see if this will work. Yeah.
Anish, your sound is reduced a bit again.
Okay, I have to.
Okay. So here's the changes we can see on that. What I have made changes in the task collection file. All the changes we have reflected on this file. Now
Okay.
I'm going to just commit it. New.
So what is the change is reflecting? You change.
I either put the item mapping variable, private variable we have created, and where the mapping will concern. Then
Okay.
we can see I have added the if we concern the book, which must be much easier. You can see. Then in to add to do, I added that this item mapping, the app will set the what are the value I've been getting from the to do. So it will map to that item map variable which we have created here.
Yeah,
And
this is I guess
Also-
the page 13 of
13,
the book.
yes, page number 13 of the book.
Okay.
Then
So
as the third part we added is to get a to do ID. We will be needing an ID for our future requirement. So they added the return ID, item map ID. So this function will return some ID values which we were adding
Okay.
to the system.
okay, fine. So what we did you as per your code, what we add the new thing is the adding a variable is a item map, and add a new map. Map is a built-in class exists in TypeScript, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also add the constructor, I guess.
Yeah, we have
This
created
is
constructor.
constructor.
Because in this construction he created a username. So we are not using a name as our construction don't have such thing. Our construction just simply has a task.
Okay, that's fine.
There's a
So
difference.
you also change the task with the username, and
I haven't placed anything because this changes will be reflected all side, because when we are calling this kind of task collection, then we have to make changes in our index file also.
okay,
So
fine.
I haven't made any changes. So if you wish, you can change respectively as per the book. But our code is little different from the book, little bit different from the book.
Okay, and you also add code the get to do items.
Yeah, because this was missing from our last week we didn't. So I've added this code.
Okay, this is from the page 14.
Page number 13.
13. No, there is another code on page number 14. This is a
Yeah.
get to do items.
That's how that provide an item access the particular item values.
Okay, so now we have actually I request you to add page number 14 code also, so it would be a less pull and push because I forget to add these page number 13 things before pushing this code to you. So actually in page number 13 you are doing the work that I have to done, but I forgot.
That's not
So
that's
yeah.
not a problem.
So you have to you add page 14 also.
Yeah, I'm adding. And in our case, because in the book is they have named complete. In our case, it's done. As we can see, we have made a because in task we have a variable called done. So we have initialized done. So that's why I have to change it to from complete to done, because in book they're using complete, but we are using done. Okay.
So this is a very good point of understanding that and it's very common practice for me. It's some sort of using the template. So what we are doing, we are actually first of trying to implement the the code exists in our in the book, and after implementing that that code, when we will very much familiar with the code, we are also doing some changes because our schema or our model or the attributes in our task class are different than the written in the book. So because we are using these codes several times, so we are very much habitual for such changes. So as you can see, the Shahrukh easily changing such things. So it's also your turn that you also create a task with a different type of attributes and use these different sort of attributes
with respect to your requirement, with respect to our requirement.
yeah. So you can use this template a starting point, and as I already mentioned that this is not limited to the task. You can also do anything like product catalog, student information system, student builder, housing information, healthcare information, whatever. So things would be very much similar. You need a class and its attributes, its collection, and its index. Nothing else.
Mazhar is asking a question. Mazhar, what's your question?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My question is, before this we are putting 3 dots. What is means of that 3 dots in the to do item? Get to do
Actually,
item.
Mazhar, these dots are automatically showing in the
Setting the array of the
I guess this is from the code, Visual Studio Code.
What's
Am I
it
right?
basically?
array value. We are setting an array value. So we are telling the from starting to ending entire array values. As you can see, the return value, the task array.
Yes. What it does is basically iterating over the array and getting the values out of it. When you call dot values.
Okay. And one other question. My question is, we use export before the class name. What is means that if we remove the export keyword before class name, when we create a class, we use export keyword.
Because we want to import it. Yes, Shahrukh, go ahead.
Basically, if we want to use a class to call some class to some other places, we have to export it, so it can easily be accessed from other class from anywhere any other places. So if we remove this export, it cannot be used.
If we
as
use
we can see here, we are import. As you can see, we are using import. Import means we are importing the task class. Whatever the things available in this can be easily be accessed by the task class. So if we want to make our task class to be accessible to other classes or anywhere, we have to make it export so it can be visible to other classes also.
Okay.
Effectively, if we made something private, that will be remain to this.
It's maybe we can use a public keyword instead of export.
No. Public cannot. Public can
export is a TypeScript.
Okay.
Syntax, na? But
okay.
Public is a Java.
Whether the issue is, if we just said public, the problem is that we are using modules which has been introduced in ES6 in JavaScript. So therefore, to basically use the ES6 module, we are using export. Otherwise, we'll not be able to use the import syntax.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sir, can you explain the line number 6?
Line number 6. Sir, can you explain this?
Yes.
Line number 6.
Basically, the map is what you're saying is create a new map which has the number. The key of that map is number, and the item in it is task. This is called generics in TypeScript. In generics in other language, there are generics in other language. What basically you do is you create a structure, and in that structure you specify if I have to explain it very easily, it is a fill-in-the-blank kind of class. A generic is a fill-in-the-blank class. What it does is it tells you that you can create a map with two items. One is the key and one is the item. So here we are telling it our map will be a number, a key to the map will be a number, and the task will be the item. So therefore, here we are using generics. Map is using generics to define the class, and we are using it.
For the people who are coming from the Python, you can say it's a dictionary. Actually, it's a key pair storage like thing, which is very much resemble to the dictionary. So
Yes.
in TypeScript, it's a some object-oriented way. So they have created a class. So we can see map is a class that will use to store the data with a key. Next time, when we will provide the key, the map class, a method of the map class will return the data. So saving data with the key would make us easy to access again whenever we need, because we have a key. So for example, key is 1 to 10 for 100. So there is 100 tasks, and every task has a key, for example 1 to 100. So we will provide the key for key number 49, and that will return the details about the task. So it's very much resemble for the dictionary for the Pythonic way. If you could provide us which language you are using, so we will try to provide you that how you map this map with your language object.
Okay, Shahrukh, please go ahead.
Okay, so I have added here we can see I have added a method to fetch the ID value of the task. So as when we go in page 14, as we are accessing to-do list item. So our object is to access particular to-do list item with respect to some ID and something. So if you move on to page number 15, so in index file, as you can in source or index file, we will be placing this line of values to get some resultant. So in our case, plus I correction 2, and we have made print task. So I save this file, respectively of saving this file. Oh. So as we can see, what we have compiled that file. Now to run the file, but I'm copying it.
Okay,
Okay,
guys,
now-
while Shahrukh is working, I also shared some data on your chat. Where is a formal definition from the book. It's available on the page 13. So I'll just copy paste the definition or explanation regarding the map method. So if you need further details and example and explanation, everything else, you can check the book page number 13. I have copy paste the formal two-line description of the map
Shahrukh,
class.
now let's share your code with push your code.
Can build up the code. New changes. Now to make that thing, like create new branch. Wait, yeah. Push the code. So I have to push the code. And
Now you're
And
creating a pull request.
so I sent a request for
Anish bhai, now you take it over. Please share your screen and then take it over.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. Trading. Let me go to so it looks that Shahrukh actually forked the master branch rather than buy branch, I guess, because the pull request exists in the direct master branch, not an issue. So I can again merge that pull request because it's good to have. So yeah, so what Shahrukh did, Shahrukh actually add, I guess, map method and add items methods. Okay. Actually, Shahrukh is using not his name, his okay. So now the Shahrukh branch has been changed. Now I can check here directly at this stage if I'm going to see that. Okay, sorry. To do and the SRC and the task collection. So I can see that there is an add method exists and the recent code changes. Now what I'm going to do I'm going to join my repository. Okay. So let's see what my repo says. I'm here. Yeah, what? Okay. As you can see here, that this branch is I can say that behind the Penacloud main. So I guess you understand. This is a very good point, Sir Zia.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, I can see that my branch is a little bit behind with the main branch, which is automatically reflected by the GitHub infrastructure. So what I need to do, I could not contribute in this situation, which would be extremely bad because the Shahrukh has updated his code. So my ethical and official responsibility is to fetch the upstream. So what I'm doing here, I'm fetching and merging the upstream. I should, or I may review or compare the code, but now the branch is even with the Penacloud main. It means now my code is as much aligned as our main or master repository exist. So sometimes we are using some jargon, some terms like master repo or main branch and this type of thing. If you are having any issues, please let us know. So at least you are spending your time with us. There are 18 people with us. So if you are 18 people should be with us, and you are very important for us. Whenever you feel that you are just behind from us, you have to be even with us. Okay, so if you are just behind with us, at least type your concern or a message, so we will try to re-explain certain things and keep with us. So your level of understanding and our level of delivery should be equal, like master branch and the fork branch. Okay, sir?
Okay, yeah, perfect. Now what we are going to do is, now we are going to move to page number 20 and learn how to basically use a library. A third-party package, how are we going to use a third-party package? Anish, why don't you basically pull the code in your local machine?
Yeah, sir, I am going to. So I'm not sharing my console, just I'm telling you that I did run git clone once again from the same branch. The syntax is very much similar as I have already mentioned earlier. So I'm stopping the screen again and going back. Mm.
My friend Anis, are you stuck somewhere?
No, sir. Actually, I lost the directory, so I'm looking the directory. Okay,
Yeah, that happens to me often.
so yeah, I got. So I'm sharing my screen. The main problem with the Zoom is that you cannot, if you try to share your whole desktop, so it starts stucking because it starts consuming so much your laptop and internet resources. So again, as we can see that I have got the code that Shahrukh has done a few minutes before. So now what I'm going to do, I'm at the page number 20. I suppose that you are also at the page number 20. So I would request that please open the book. So you could be at least with us or little behind rather than a big gap exists. So just open the book and there is a using a third party package. So sir,
Yes.
why we need this third party of package? Why we are not happy with the same thing?
The thing is, what we want to do is we want to now enter data from the command line.
Okay.
And in order to enter data from the command line, we want to use the package called Inquirer and use that library in our application.
Okay, that's nice.
In order to do that, what we need to do is basically say npm, which is a node package manager, space install and Inquirer at the rate 7.3.3, which tells us about the basically command, the version of that library.
Okay, that's fine. So before using that thing, I need to install this package also.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm at console.
You have to be in that directory to do. Right now, you're not in the to-do directory.
Yes, you're right. I'm supposing that I am a right directory. Just for checking, let me see. Just want to make sure I'm in the right directory because actually, sir, I have copy and paste just for the practice these codes in many folders. So every time we are using a different folder, so
therefore you are not in the right directory. It's because you don't have the latest code.
Yeah, this could be an issue.
Yeah, it's not the latest code; it's the old code.
The map code has not arrived yet.
To do export TypeScript. Bootcamp. I hope this is the right directory. I guess this one.
Yes, this is the right directory.
Yeah, this is the right one. This is the right one.
So I should be in this directory. For installing that package, I have to be in the root directory of the project. Okay.
Yes. You just gave npm install inquirer at the rate of 7.3.3. Now it is
Yeah.
fetching the inquiry, fetching the library. Now it is creating, also fetching all the dependency of that package. Now we are using inquirer, and it also had dependencies. So it's also installing all of them. In the next class, we are going to also learn how to publish npm packages and use each other's code.
Okay. So 6 packages are looking for the funding.
Maybe
Okay.
later on, when you become rich, you can fund some of these packages.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have installed that thing, and I'm good to go back into the
Visual
my
Studio
task collection. Okay. I am supposing that everyone are able to see my code as well as the book.
Now, what I want to show is, Anis,
Yeah.
I think you have opened the source directory in your Visual Studio Code. Please open the to-do directory in your Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, this is right. Let me close this folder and open folder. Okay. So, sir, the things are.
Yes, the first thing you notice is go to the package.json. Look at the dependency. It has added a package name inquirer 7.3.3.
Okay. And there is another folder exists with the node modules, which have all dependency required to run the inquirer. Okay.
Yes. But there is another problem. Inquirer is a JavaScript project. We do not have the types, so that we won't get the help of. Now we want to add the types of this package. Now question is, how do we do that? Go to page number 22. And now we are going to tell it that npm install --save -dir @types/inquirer. It will basically download all the types of inquirer.
So what is types?
Types is basically JavaScript does not have types, as you know.
Yeah.
We want IntelliSense in our project.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Therefore, in order to do that, what we are doing is we are asking it to basically add the types. Types is a repository where all the types are stored. Most of the types, not all the types.
Okay.
Therefore, just copy this command.
So using this command, I would be able to apply some type. For example, there's a task I am using string. So string is a type actually.
Yes.
For example, if I'm talking about the map number is a type actually. So this type of things we are using so many type. But you are telling us that inquirer is a JavaScript object. So its types is not a part of the JavaScript package. We have to install types, its type separately. So we can use the inquirer package into our TypeScript because it's made for the JavaScript, but we want to use it in the TypeScript. That's
Yes,
it.
Exactly.
Okay, because students are not asking certain questions, so I am speaking on the behalf of the students. Huh?
Okay.
Maybe it will help.
Okay, perfect.
Sir, I have a question that you said that with map there is type number. So this is type or this is like a variable or parameter name, a number
Could you
and
repeat
type.
Map class.
Yes, sir. Map class. With
Map
map
class
class,
is a
there
library.
is
Map class is a library built into JavaScript, which the types are already there.
Yeah, if you
sir.
can see, let
Sir, what
me
I was
okay. You are talking about the page 13, so I'll get you back to the page 13. So you have some further details right now, so you can also read after, even after that class. So okay, so you can yeah, so you can see that in the JavaScript support generic types, which are placeholder for types that are resolved when the object is created. The JavaScript map, for example, is a general purpose collection that store key value pairs. Because JavaScript has such as a dynamic type system, a map can be used to store any mix of data type using any mix of keys. To restrict the types that can be used with the mapping listing 1.18 provided generic type argument that tell the type receive compiler which type are allowed for the key and values. So you can see that type is not a TypeScript thing, it's actually JavaScript things, and we are using that JavaScript collection which is called map into our TypeScript. But for using that thing, we added some restriction taking the advantage of our TypeScript language, and we have introduced that our map have number as a key and the object as a value. But the book says that in the JavaScript, it does not require that you provide type of the values you are going to store in the map JavaScript collection. I hope it will give you some better understanding of the map. If you still have any problem, please ask question.
Yes, sir. I understand. I understand now. But sir, my another question is that there is to do item. So this this is the name of the object, or this is just a name. We can change the name to any other name if you want.
Yeah, of course you can change if you think, because to do items, I guess where you are in line number 14.
In
Yes, sir.
line
There.
number 12, you can change it to
Line-
anything.
You're talking about this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Line
this
number
is
6.
line number 6. Line number 6 is the item map, I guess. Can you see my screen?
You can change its name to anything.
Sir, there is task number before beside number.
This one.
Task. Yes, sir. This one.
Yes, sir. So this task actually, we have already know that this is coming from here. If you will click this, you will see that certain things already clicked. For example, when I click that, it's automatically click that. It shows that there is a task or class exists. As you can see, whenever I go to, it's also show this is the task class that is imported from the file which is called task. So this task is a class, and that class exists in that file, and this is an object class. So what we are saying that our map method would have a key as a number, and the task class object, not task class itself, object of task class type. So it looks be boring for the other object oriented people, but just for the clarity, I'll let you know there is a two type of types exist in most languages. One is called scalar type, for example, number, string, boolean, and one is type object type. So here task is an object or class type. It shows that the data we will store, it would be a class object, and the class name is task. One more thing I have to say, that you can write any name here. For example, you can write Raza. Raza would be, there is no compiler or any issue, but there is a science behind that. You can see what we are doing, we are using type. You can say it's a standard practice. I'm sure that Sir Zia and Shahrukh would verify this, that for any class, when we create its object, its single object, we start that object with the same name, but just only change its first capital letter into small letter. That help us to understand, easily remember that task is a instance variable or an object variable of a task class. So you can see whenever we were using the task, we are using the similar name of the class. Why we are using S? That show that this task object contain more than one element, because it's an array variable. So this is also a science. You have to understand the concept, but there is a science behind, there is a logic behind that. That if there is a single variable, that will store only a single instance of the object class task, we will use task, not task. Whenever I'll see the task, I immediately understand that this is a collection. It has a multiple element in it. And same applies to the item map. Actually, item map, or we can, the task map means that we are talking about the single task plus this variable represent the map. So to keep it remember, we try to add collection name with our object or variable name. So it help us to remember that which type of object, or sorry, variable it is. Sir Zia?
Yes. Anish, let's move forward. Let's now add the type of the inquirer.
Okay. So
sir, can we say that map function is work like a JavaScript map function?
Bilal, what did you say? I missed your point.
Sir, can we say that map function in TypeScript work like a JavaScript map function using for array?
Yes, underneath it's using, if you look at the JavaScript code, underneath it's using the JavaScript map function, of course. Map.
Yeah, as you can see that if I'll go to the distribution and select that item collection, there is a sorry, it's item collection, it's a task collection, sorry. So you can see there is a map exists. So this is the JavaScript, and you can see the difference is that our transpiler actually created this thing without having any type or type like numbers and this type of things, and it's handling certain things differently. But for the easy things, we are using, this is our TypeScript function, and this is our JavaScript function. As you see, in the JavaScript function, we are not providing any type, but in the TypeScript we are using. But our transpiler remove the type information from the JavaScript, because the map collection nothing to do with the type.
Yes.
So I have installed the types. So now I'm able to.
Now look at, if you go back to the Visual Studio Code, let's see where TypeScript has added it. Sorry, where NPM has added it. First of all, go to the package.json and see now the development dependencies. These dependencies are only required for the development thing, because when only JavaScript code will run. So therefore, it is added as a developer dependency, not as a regular dependency.
Okay, sir. So it means there are two types of dependency we are going to deal. One is dependency to run our software as well as to develop our software. This is dependency goes into the dependency. But there is only certain dependency that we need to use when we were developing or changing our code. This is called dev dependency. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So I'm going to take you page number 20. Sir, we were here. Actually, we were skip two pages just because to install the types. Okay. So should I go back?
No, no. What we are going to do is basically we are just first of all we want to import the inquirer.
Okay.
In the next file.
Yeah. It's
Now the
import
library is imported.
very
And if
successfully.
you
Yes, sir.
now you will have IntelliSense. If you say inquirer dot, let's see, it will tell you what the methods are available. What methods are available.
Yeah, of course. The Visual Code IntelliSense is very much intelligent. It immediately shows error if it is unable to import the required library from anything. Okay, so back to the code and back to the book.
Sir, what I get is map is is kind of a array, or I am wrong?
Rao, do you use any other language for any sort of development on the like Python,
Yes,
anything
sir.
else?
Sir, I works on JavaScript.
Okay, so I'm not expert in JavaScript, but as the book says, and if you can see the page number 13, that map is a JavaScript collection, and
Sir, there are two maps in JavaScript. There is a dot map function which we use to iterate over arrays or
that's not a that's not a, that is a method
that is a method
of array.
This is
a collection.
This is a collection. Sorry.
So this is the different thing that the map. It's a collection. It looks like array, but it has a two things. In the array, we have the data. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, Raza, Rao, Anis, Shahrukh are stored in an array. But the collection says that it allows us to store Raza, Rao, Anis, Shahrukh as a value, but also it's assigned a key to these thing. For example, 1 to Rao, 2 to Anis, 3 to Raza, 4 to Shahrukh. So there is a key and value, and the value not necessary to be a single or scalar. It should be a class object. For example, the key could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever number is, and the value could be a object of a class. For example, in the task, there are 2 or 3 attributes exist to hold our data. So this is the difference between an ordinary array and the collection, because the collection has not only values but also have a keys. I suppose this is a very
yes, sir. Now it's clear.
Explanation. Okay, thank you so much. Otherwise, Sir Zia going to kill me by wasting this time. Okay, so sir, I am allowed to copy this function.
Of course, of course.
That object. Shahrukh, did you add this code yourself? Because
No, I haven't added it
Okay.
because I have used
So,
your report.
okay, I guess, no, I guess I have added this course a time behind. So I'm just comment it out. Okay, because, okay. Let collection. Okay, you did not do anything in the in this class in the index section, so I have to actually copy paste all things. Actually, we changed this class in the last session, which I need to be updated. Okay.
Anish, don't do too much of the work for these students,
Okay.
because now these students will be required to complete make a complete to-do list using this chapter.
Okay. So
That will be the project number 1.
okay, that's great. So do I need to copy paste this thing or just explain something?
Let's explain the thing
Okay.
from the code.
Okay. So you can use this book code to explain if you need, or do I need to copy paste in the?
No, don't need to copy paste because we are running out of time.
Yeah,
The first project will be project number 1 for this bootcamp will be, because bootcamp is about projects. The first project will be they complete a to-do list with both the Inquirer, where they basically, what does Inquirer do? Basically, it allows you to basically get data from the console, and you can show a list in a console. You have to play with it. We just showed you how to improve the how to import the library. The second thing is you have to go over the documentation of Inquirer and find out what is required and understand it. But the main objective of Inquirer is basically it gives you interactive menus and everything on the command line. The second thing is, let's move to how to add a database to the, let me go over persistently storing data. Now let's move on to page number 30. If you go to page number 30, Anish.
Yes, sir. I am on page number 30, sir.
We can't see it because you are showing Git.
Sir, now can you see that?
No.
Okay, let me share screen. Sir, can you see now?
Yes. So therefore, we had made a basic structure of the objects of the classes and the to-do application. Now what we are adding is, first we added a library called Inquirer. Now we are adding another library called LoadDB. And we are going to then also install the types of LoadDB. So therefore, you go ahead and do that also.
Okay, that's great. The LoadDB, like Inquirer, LoadDB is also a package which is a part of the JavaScript ecosystem. And because we are using that package into a TypeScript, we will also install types of LoadDB package. And after that, we will able to use this LoadDB, which is an excellent package that store our data. The data we will provide using Inquirer as a command line input to the and it will store the LoadDB data stored into the JSON file, and then we can send that data to the JSON server package over the HTTP or HTTPS.
Yes. And the second thing is, now look at the listing 1.41.
Sir, one thing I want to mention that I guess that using the LoadDB package, it would be easier for us. That will take 2, 3, 4, or even 15, 16 tasks together and then send all JSON together rather than sending each and every task individually to the server.
Yes, but it doesn't matter. The thing is that
Okay.
first thing is that you have to install the package. The second thing is install the types. Then you import the LoadDB package.
Okay.
And then you use it.
This is the 1.42 where we are importing the LoadDB and
Yes.
also a file sync from adapter file sync. It means we have to also install the file sync package.
Yes.
Okay. So I hope the boys has understand so many things very well. One thing from the chat that the JavaScript सीखना जरूरी. So boys, learning JavaScript is not necessary. You should follow the pattern that Sir Zia recommended for us, that go to the concepts. Every other thing would be exist in the documentation or a help system. So learn that certain templates or certain style of working. For example, if you want to use LoadDB, you have to use LoadDB in the TypeScript. So you just need to know how do you use certain JavaScript package into a TypeScript. And there's only two things. You have to install that package in your development machine, and also a type. After adding types of a certain package, you are ready to use that thing in the TypeScript. And then you doesn't need to know a lot of things from the JavaScript. You just need to follow that book. The book is very excellent. It provides you every detailed information. The problem is our student is that we never try to read the book.
And the thing is, now what is required is, I'm going to add in the repository, the Bootcamp 2021 repository, a project within the next day or two. And
Okay.
all of you are required to do project number 1, which is basically nothing but you have to create a to-do list, which from the command prompt takes all the data and store it in the database. And you restart the application. It restarts from the very point you have left off. That is the objective of the project number 1, doing in TypeScript. In the next class, we are going to do how to use NPM. Right now, we learned how to use NPM packages, but we did not learn how to publish in NPM packages. And what we are going to learn from the next in the next class is how to publish. Then after that, we are going to move over to the cloud development kit and AWS, start using AWS. So therefore, let's start working on the project number 1. And I'll write it down on the page for you so that you can follow it. Thank you, everyone. Sir. Yes, go ahead. Somebody has a question.
Sir, where can we find this book?
It's in the repository. If you go, Anis, could you show our repository for the Bootcamp 2021?
Sir, I'm going to share that repository. Let me share once again. Yeah, I'll share the link to the chat so you can check that thing to the chat. Okay. Yeah, I have added the repository in the chat.
In the
sir, where will we submit this project?
I'm going to give you a link in there in the Bootcamp.
The best way to just fork the project template that Sir Zia would make available on the repository. You would fork, and then you will create an merge request. So in that way, you were able to make your project submitted, but don't use the same folder name. Try to make another folder. For example, if your name is Hasib, so you could use to-do list dash or underscore Hasib. So it won't affect anyone else code. So for example, if 10 people is going to submit their project, they just need to create a directory, for example, to do underscore Raza, and it code in that and send that code as a merge request. We will review the code, and if you think that the folder have contained the required information, we will merge that, and maybe in later on we will also implement some continuous integration or continuous deployment option in our GitHub repository.
Okay.
I guess that this is my point of view.
There's a basic, very good point of view. We are going to follow that. So therefore, I will create a repository, and then you basically, with basically nothing but README file, and all
Yeah.
of you basically publish, make a pull request to that, so that we have all the code with your name.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have understand all the thing about project one, but I have not understand the DB part. So what is low DB means? It is something like SQL or
No, it's a basic, very basic database which only saves data using JSON.
But your idea is fine. It's also SQL. Actually, technically, SQL is a database, but it use standard mechanism which is called standard or structured query language for accessing and storing data. But LowDB is not that way. What it does, it store your data in a JSON format into a file rather than into a compressed we can say binary format. Rather than storing data into the binary format, it stores data into a JSON format, into a file. So there's a many SQL, MySQL or Postgres SQL, SQL, but for just creating understanding, maybe if you see that this is a chapter 1 in the 14 or 15 chapter, it allow you to store data to the proper or professional level of SQL. But currently, you are right, it's an alternative of SQL. But rather than storing data into SQL engine or in binary format, it's storing data into JSON format in a file, which is a text file. That's it.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and see you all guys next week when we start learning how to publish packages on NPM and rest of the stuff. Thank you.
And last thing, please using this GitHub repository, join our PanaCloud Discord channel and raise your concern, issues, everything in the Bootcamp 2021 channel, and also try to join the announcement channel in the PanaCloud if exists. So what we will do, if you have anything to announce, we will now use the announcement channel. So you will get to know that what exists for you for your this week announce, and later on you can discuss certain things over the Discord channel. I hope it's clear from my side.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.